Yeah, best $650 I ever spent.
But let's pull it apart and fix that microphonic tube real fast. Okay.
Good bottom.
Oh, give me all the feels.
Damn,
that was
Corey, holy
freaking
shit.
fun. I can only do that if I'm having fun. That's the only.
These are actually key.
Okay, so I've got Eli from 2 Rock, divided by 13, and Corey Congilio. They're down in Atlanta. We went to a show last night, Marvelous 3. It's unbelievable. And we're down here in the studio, hanging out, playing a few amps. I pulled out this old Masco projector amp that I bought at Carter Vintage completely on a whim, like 2.5 years ago. And it turns out that Eli built it. So
What's that all about?
We saw it laying over there on his back in the shop, and it has the 2 Rock feet on it. So I was like, that does look pretty good. So we pulled it apart, and it had our parts in it, and it's a kind of like a Tweed Deluxe with a beefed up power supply. Both volume controls act on top of themselves. And there's a cool piece of history to open it up and see it all put together.
When would you have built that?
Probably 2019, 2020, just as a little fun project.
Where do you find the head shells and the chassis? They just come up?
They used to be a lot easier to track down. We used to find them, pawn shops, thrift shops. Now we get them on eBay. Don't really sell them or do anything. I think I just did this for a buddy of mine in Nashville to play around with for a while, and he moved on from it. So we don't do them to sell, but they have good transformers in them, good potentiometers. Most of the stuff's in there. So you looked in there, about half of it was old and the other half of it was new parts.
Corey, have you played one of these before?
This is really the first time I've ever had any time on it, and it's like a really cool overdrive pedal in an amp.
Change the other inputs. That's input
cool.
2.
Okay.
Good input 1.
That's really great.
Isn't that gnarly?
Man, let's crank this shit up even more. That was the most fun I've had all day. It's a great secret weapon.
Yeah.
Especially because down here, like... I mean, that is like Americana for days.
Yeah. But I genuinely can't believe just the sheer coincidence.
Yeah, as soon as we opened it up and we saw the handwriting inside of it on there, it's like, oh, there you go. That was it. So it's nice to see it come back. And I don't know, that could have been anywhere from 2017 on. They've gotten more expensive to get because people have gotten kind of hip to them.
Yeah.
But they're still great platforms to get started on modding and building amps because, like I said, they have tube sockets are in it. they don't need a lot of stuff to get them just sounding good. You saw this one was pretty well gutted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's pretty much just the transformers and the tube sockets
But
that are left.
it doesn't come with like the glass and the transparency, so you can put it up on the screen of the biology lesson, right?
There you go.
The projector amps. That's what I think. I mean, right?
It's just volume 1, volume 2, and then the tone knob. So it's kind of Tweed-esque in that the 2 volumes are interactive.
Yeah. So the mic 1 is quite a bit hairier.
Yeah.
And then the 2 hold together.
Yep.
So the concept is you can kind of blend that one in and then just add some grit on top of it. And then if you want more bottom end tightness, you turn one back up and get
So
more
you
out
like
of it.
2 more for the tighter thing? It totally feels that way. Super responsive with the
This one's
guitar
a lot-
too.
A lot more gained up.
Okay. Oh, give me all the feels.
Damn,
that was
Corey, holy
freaking
shit.
fun. I can only do that if I'm having fun. That's the only.
These are actually PA heads. These aren't the projectors.
Oh,
The one that
okay.
you saw last time when you were
Was
over
the projector.
were the actual projector
Yeah.
ones, but these Mascos were just little 2-channel PAs with a phono jack for a record player or something in there.
It kind of has a modern sound. Is that because of like updating and stuff that
Yeah,
you
I
might
mean,
have done?
this one I think was probably pretty well torched when we got it because Rhett and I opened it up and it's got all new parts. It even has the 2 rock orange drops and stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's pretty
Yeah.
well gutted.
Yeah.
I just like the way they look. They're kind of a cool stage vibe to put up there. And
It's tweed all day. Like it
Yeah.
feels so tweedy. To
Yeah,
me.
but it holds together better than a
bet-
tweed.
Yeah, it doesn't get
Yeah.
super mush.
Yeah.
You go see Marvelous 3 for a weekend, all you want to play is rock riffs.
That does have that kind of Butch Walker feel to
Well,
it.
Butch likes a crispy top end with like a nice amount of punch, at least
Yeah.
from the records I've listened to, and this has it, you know. Man, that's freaking fun. Rhett, who knew you had such cool toys?
I'm genuinely, because I was at Carter and I bought that spring reverb tank and this Masco head completely on a whim.
I paid $650 for it. The guys who I were talking to at Carter didn't know what it was. I asked them, like, what is it? What kind of, they're like, I don't know, man, it just sounds sick. The guy brought it in a few weeks ago. Nobody's really messed with it or played it at all. And I plugged it in, I hit one chord and I unplugged it and took it to the front. And I was like, I'll take it. And
I think Zach over at Mythos told you that I mod a bunch of those for fun on free time and just goof around with them. So you guys sent me a photo after Dipped in the Tone. And I said, it looks like something, but unless I look on the inside, there's no way of knowing.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is it's a brand new amp inside. So I would gig with it. There's no reason not to worry about it. There's no old parts in it really. So it's good to get on stage.
Dude.
Yeah.
And just look at it. Like, it's got such a vibe, you know?
Man. Here, you play. I'll film you.
it's got that like tweedy single-ended like kick thing to it. It just makes you want to play riffs. Like I just want It's got that Zeppelin 1 thing to it, which is so sick, man.
I think what's cool, dude, is that I can't do this as good as you do. I think what's cool is that I've heard so many amps that Eli's made, and none of them sound like that.
Yeah, this is completely
That's
different.
freaking cool.
Completely different than any Two-Rock.
Probably closest in the product line would be the Burnside.
Okay.
The Burnside would be kind of closer to just the Channel 2.
Yeah.
But it has a treble and bass on it. So this just doesn't have the 2. The Burnside only has 1 volume control on it, not the 2.
It's a cool amp that does one thing, and it does that one thing really, really well. Total secret weapon, studio. You don't need a pedal. I mean, a fuzz in front of it is cool, but like, you don't need anything in front of it other than just your volume control and a good guitar. You know? Man.
It's worth $650.
yeah. Best $650 I ever spent.
But let's pull it apart and fix that microphonic tube real fast. That's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it bothering you?
It's a little bit. Making my eye twitch.
What, that's not up to Two-Rock standards?
We should probably fix that.
Okay. It smells so old. I
I know.
freaking love that smell. It's disgusting, and I love it. It's the best old smell. I love when my old bassman like starts frying eggs, and it's just like mildew.
We were bombing around a Rhett's LTE today, and that's the coolest part about it is the smell.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got a cool car, Rhett, but it stinks.
I mean, it does actually.
You smell like the car when you get out
did.
of it, you know?
And I love it. Oh, there you go.
Nice, dude.
Oh, that's a great. Look at that iron.
Yeah.
That is some old ass iron.
Yep. So I'll have to send you a couple of these.
Those are those octal tubes?
Yep.
Are they as labeled like a 6 SC7? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, these are just the metal ones. They were, mil spec. They're heavy duty. They don't break as easy.
And the covering is like, instead of just clear glass, they have the metal just to make it more robust.
And then put these on them to try to quiet them down as much as possible.
I can't believe that iron.
The old iron just, I mean,
Awesome, man. That is.
Yeah, that's why-
That's what you're paying for.
left all the good stuff in there. Left the tube sockets, the front rails, the potentiometers, which are all totally badass. The cool old iron. You haven't done so many of these, have to remember, but it's probably blown up or on fire or had some issue with it at some time if it was that gutted. Sometimes just tweak a few parts in them. Sometimes you gut them all together. This was pretty much a fresh build with old iron.
Which is so cool, man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get the aesthetic and the vibe, and the iron, but with a sick.
And the transformers are going to be the heart of the amp. So, like we heard earlier, it's the heartbeat of the amp.
That's right.
So it's cool to have that in there.
And if you can save the output and the power, that really saves a vintage amp, right? But sometimes in a lot of like old Fenders, somebody might have to replace the power transformer or the output transformer, and the mojo might be a little lost, but with this old iron, it's still totally intact.
And that's why it crunches up and just has such a vibe that you dig into and stuff.
There's a softness to it. It's not rigid. It feels like what it's actually, we were saying, Rhett, it sounds more, it's more Tweedy than a Tweed Deluxe. It was a tighter feel than a Tweed Deluxe.
Yeah.
Which I prefer.
And in the Two-Rock world, that's what we spend so much time with, is trying to get them to feel like an old
so
amp.
good.
And that's why, when you play a classic reverb or something, it doesn't feel sterile and new. It has some of that, artifacts and schmutz like an old amp. And that's because we love this kind of stuff so much. And you know how obsessed I am with this stuff.
Well, you design the transformers in your amps.
Yeah, we have great guys that we work with, Transformer Company, and we're blessed to have the people that we have.
But you can't get this anymore.
No.
So, okay, that's actually a good question, because my classic reverb is sitting right behind you. So, like, with that amp, what are you doing? I mean, without giving away any trade secrets, but, like, how are you thinking about the transformer design and layout from something like this to a modern amp to get the feel that you want?
You have to edit some of this out.
That's fine.
I mean, the construction of the transformers are both going to be the same. Our transformers are big, like this also. That's about all I'm going to say. You're going to have to edit all this out.
No trade secrets? Okay, got it.